Hi, this is Mr. Cordes, and today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to go over and review with you the personal hero's journey activities. You have had the opportunity to look at the hero's journey for a character of your choice, a movie of your choice. We took a look at the hero's journey for Odysseus and what happened in book 9. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to look at ourselves. We are going to identify ourselves as the hero and be able to fill out the chart for an event or a circumstance in our own lives. So there's actually twofold. One, it's the opportunity for us to see ourselves as a hero, but then two, for us to conduct our narrative writing. During the first semester, we did response to literature and analysis writing. This first opportunity right here, we are looking at narrative writing, which is kind of like telling a story. And what better way to do that is to explain how we are a hero. So we have practiced filling out the hero's chart. If you guys look, this very first activity asks you to identify an event and put down some details in this column over here for yourself. Now, if you look at the assignment itself, it says reflect back on your life and identify a time where you went on your own hero's journey. This incident or event could be one singular situation or one season, a longer period of time in your life. So, for example, standing up to a bully or being on the soccer team, what was that like to practice, go out for tryouts? What was it like to stand up to someone who is being mean or ruthless? Or it could be a bigger season. Maybe maybe you struggled with science in the 8th grade and all semester you worked diligently to try to get your grade up to where it needed to be. Maybe it was a bigger season. Maybe there was like a death in the family or a divorce, or maybe it was something good. Maybe you worked towards a goal and that goal took you a longer period of time. Okay. Just like for myself, graduating from college, that was a season and I had to go, some classes were easier than others. And so that season, that longer period of time was my hero's journey, working hard, going, finding mentors, finding helpers, going through challenges and temptations of like tests or quizzes or small little assignments, and then getting to like a big event where I don't know if I can handle it. You can look for something in your life that has changed you, that has pushed you. It could be positive or negative. Okay. It says the event that you select could be positive or negative, just like I mentioned. Pick something that is meaningful for you. And when you reflect back, you notice that there's some sort of change and you are a different, stronger person. So looking at maybe it was when the pandemic first hit. Maybe it was the idea of balancing, oh my gosh, I have to go to school, but I'm at home now. Maybe it's the idea of struggling in a class. Maybe it's the idea of trying out for a choir or band or a sports team, something along those lines that has made you a better person. Okay. Now, the very first assignment that you see is to fill out this chart, which you are super familiar with, for your own story. So these would be key small little notes to help you kind of gauge, all right, this is where I'm going with my journey. If my call to adventure is to graduate college, right here, probably my abyss, the death and return, would be my finals, my senior year, right? Who are my helpers? I'm going to fill this in for what happens and what goes on. Maybe this was when I tried out for the track team in high school. And so my call to adventure was to be a part of the track team. And my supernatural aid is my ability to run fast, right? My helpers, my classmates, my mentors, my coaches, you're going to fill this in with the items that apply to the story that you select. Okay. And the great thing is that there's no right or wrong story about your life. This could be something super significant. This could be something that happens every day. I've had a student before write this about how she made breakfast. She's like, I don't have any major events. I was like, you had to get up and make breakfast. What was that like? Her call to adventure was that she was hungry. Her supernatural aid was all of the supplies and food that she had in her cupboard. Right? You kind of begin to go through, so you can make a sandwich for lunch. What did that look like? right? Going over to your friend's house, that's a journey in itself. Find something that you can tell a story about how you have progressed through these elements and how you have progressed into a better, stronger person. Okay. So this is the first part. The first part of this task is you're going to complete this chart just to kind of get yourselves going, get the brain working, get your ideas out on paper. The second part is you are going to then put all of your notes into an essay. Okay. Now the essay is going to look a lot different than we did before with concrete detail and commentary, because this is narrative. This is where we kind of sit down and we explain a story. You know, when you visit with family or friends, you kind of begin to say, how was your day? And you venture into a long narrative about what happened. You're doing the same thing here. So it says students will write a narrative essay explaining how they have experienced the hero's journey. So follow the hero's chart and give a quality description of each element, 4 to 5 sentences offering detail and explanation. So you will have 4 to 5 sentences for the call to adventure. You'll have 4 to 5 sentences for the supernatural aid, 4 to 5 sentences about crossing the threshold from the known world to the unknown world, 4 to 5 sentences for the helper, so on and so forth. That will give you enough time to thoroughly explain things. So if I said my helper is my best friend, Ben, from college, well, that's one sentence. I've got to tell you that Ben and I had been together and best friends since we were in the 6th grade, that he knew when I would get tired and help me study. I need to tell you that he came alongside and would proofread some of my papers, and I would do the same for him. So you have to kind of elaborate and offer detail. Okay. You can't just say, oh, I tried out for the soccer team. We've got to develop, we got to tell this story. Just like Homer told Odysseus' story in the Odyssey, we need to make sure that we tell our stories well here. So we're going to offer up 4 to 5 sentences of explanation for each. Now for you guys, neatly handwritten in pen or pencil, you guys will be typing this online. So you're going to pull up a brand new document. You'll probably title it your names, you know, your Billy's hero's journey or whichever. We need to make sure that we've got proper grammar. We've got good sentences. Our sentences make sense, like we've proofread. Quality and thorough writing will reach at least 2 full pages. Now that may seem overwhelming, but if you look here, here's an outline that actually gets you to the bottom of the second page. So your introduction paragraph will have 8 to 10 sentences talking about the call to adventure and the supernatural aid. Okay. Body paragraph number 1 is going to talk about crossing the threshold and the unknown. That right there is 8 to 10 sentences. Okay. You're going to have 1 paragraph, 4 to 5 sentences talking about challenges and temptation. You're going to have 8 to 10 sentences about helpers and mentors. You're going to talk about the abyss and what was that lowest point for you and you didn't know if you were going to survive or make it or get accepted. That's the abyss, 4 to 5 sentences. And then your conclusion paragraph will combine all of the transformation, atonement, and return. How are you different? How are things developed? How are you a stronger person? So if you go through this chart right here and you make sure that you've given enough story examples, you will hit that 2-page mark. Okay. I'm not going to sit here and count word for word for word for word or sentence or sentence or sentence, but I'm going to look, okay, does their item, as I read through, have they talked about the threshold? Have they talked about, crossing the threshold into the unknown, the challenges and temptations? Have they identified everything that's on the hero's journey? Okay. So you're going to be working on this and it's going to be due in a couple days. So you do need to manage your time. This is a starting point for you here. So some people have actually started to kind of like write out, 2 or 3 sentences in each of these spaces so that they have a good quality. Oh, okay. And then go on to add more. Couple of side notes. One, this is not going to be shared with anyone. So if there's something that's really personal to you, like a death in the family, a divorce, some sort of tragedy, and you're afraid of it getting out there and letting people know, trust, this is for my eyes only. I don't share these with anyone. We don't even do presentations on these because it's a personal item. The only reason why I would share your information is if you're in harm's way of yourself or others. So if you talk about wanting to commit suicide, if you are so frustrated that you don't know what to do, if you talk about hurting other people, those are things that I would then need to contact your counselors, the grown-ups at your house. I would need to talk to someone just for your safety. So please be aware of what you tell me and what you don't tell me, okay? In years past, people have written down pretty tumultuous, gigantic, traumatic things, but I keep it all confidential. The only time I report is if someone is in danger of hurting themselves or hurting other people. Okay, so be aware of what you share with me. But take some time, find an event, something that was meaningful for you. You're going to start here with this chart going around the hero's journey, okay? And then eventually you will move into this writing portion, all right? Message me if you have any questions or concerns. This is the last thing that we are doing for the hero's journey. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you see yourself as the hero. But yeah, this is a great assignment. It's fun. It's relaxing. We get to apply all of the things that we've learned thus far about the hero and kind of finish off with being a reflective piece of writing. Okay. Message me if you have any questions or concerns. I'll talk to you guys later.